take you behind the scenes of content that sells, which is one of the OG programs when it comes to creating content that is designed specifically to sell. So I want to show you what can you find inside, what kind of videos you will find inside, what kind of training you will find inside. So first and foremost, content that sells has over 3,500 people inside. Content that sells is the program that a lot of coaches in the industry bought, copied, and then they said they are a messaging expert. In fact, they're now reselling it, exactly these videos, and some of them are selling it double, triple, 5 times the price of what content that sells is. Also, the knowledge inside of content that sells is the same knowledge that I use to train the real OGs in the content marketing and messaging space. In fact, it is the program that created 7 and 8-figure coaches in the industry way before messaging was a thing. Content that sells exists for years now, and it has been producing incredible results even before the word messaging was popular and trendy. And there's a reason for that. My background, I don't know if you know that, I have been a journalist. I have also graduated. I have a bachelor in communications. I have a master's degree in journalism. I am a prolific author as well. I had to learn the craft of writing. But not only that, when I started working for companies such as Microsoft, Reuters, Apple, big companies, companies that are Fortune 500 companies, I have to master one thing, and that is the art of content that sells. Because as I say, not all content is born equal, and there is a reason for that. Now, let me take you through content that sells and what you will find inside. So in content that sells, you will find a whole space where you have tons of resources. These are PDFs, checklists with templates, with prompts. None of them are AI generated. They are all IU generated. So these are prompts and resources that I use with super successful clients. Then I start with the updates. So what is new? This program is not like most of the programs that you will find. So I've also purchased a lot of the content programs out there for thousands and thousands to like $2,000, $3,000. And what I see is that the coach inside is teaching you things that worked 2 years ago, 3 years ago, which are no longer working. So this program and content that sells, I literally record every single week. I record new content and I upload it here. I share my content strategy. So you see this is brand new, my content strategy and my content creation process for 2026 or for the year that is relevant whenever you're buying this. I specifically focus on the platforms that are trending that year. I also share with you what you need to have in mind before you start creating content, because this is super important. Then I dive into the latest trends that you should know about content creation. So this is something you absolutely must know. Content is one of the things that is changing the fastest. Buyer's psychology, sales psychology is relatively a constant thing. Emotionally, psychologically, you influence people in a certain way. However, we see shift in platforms, shift in formats, shift in hooks, shift in how you design the content. And it's extremely important for me to come and show you first this, because I can teach you all the methods, all the frameworks, but they will not work unless you are in tune with what is currently working and what is not working. Because if you create things that worked in like a year ago even, you will fail. Then I teach you also how to create viral short form content for videos, because right now the best performing content out there is short form videos. This is the ultimate top of funnel strategy that you need to have. For that reason, I'm also giving you prompts for viral videos and scripts as well, how to create your reel. So you will download the exact prompts that I am using as well, that clients who are performing well are using as well. This is extremely important. So it will no longer work strategies like, oh, I am such an authority. Oh, I am super magnetic. Oh, I am in my feminine. These will not work anymore. You will have to have a specific framework of building your content. Then I'm diving in some of the other elements that are super important before you get into the specificities of content creation. This will be you having clarity of what am I actually creating as content? Who am I actually speaking to? Understanding your audience is the most important part. And by the way, very few nail that. A lot of entrepreneurs who I coach, including seven-figure owners, who are trying so hard to scale to multiple 7 and 8 figures, when we sit together and work on their content, even with them, we notice this. We notice that they are not super in tune where they're an ideal client. Yes, they know some of the things about their ideal client. They kind of understand them, and yet they don't speak their language. And when we change that, this is when they start getting so much more leads and sales instantaneously. I'm also teaching you hooks. By the way, I was one of the first in the industry years and years ago when I started teaching the hook. I actually had to learn how to design hooks more than 11, 12 years ago when I was a journalist, because that was the most important part of your article. So I understand the hook creation process. I'm actually super happy that there are so many coaches who started following my methods of how I teach that. I can give so many examples of women who were doing multiple six figures a year, and then they went and exploded to multiple eight figures in their business because they mastered the hook. This one thing, I have a full training expanded into hooks just because it is so important. I also give you a recipe, a structure of how to create hooks that sell, because this is so important. Then we speak about creating a content bank. So I've been teaching people how to create a content bank for the last 10 years, how to stack their content, how to remove the overwhelm of being omnipresent. Now, you will hear, including myself, a lot of people overuse this. They say, I don't want you to have your phone glued to your face when it comes to social media. Neither do I. I don't want you to be like that, but I'm also very honest with you. It takes time to create content and distribute it on different social media channels, especially if you are in a position where you still haven't dialed in into one platform that is bringing in success. You still have to experiment with multiple platforms. It can take a lot of time, but I'm showing you how to compress time and optimize your effort. Then I'm showing you how to nail your storytelling. So there was a period 2, 3 years ago when everybody was speaking about how to be a narrator, how to tell stories. Storytelling is the most important, but they were not teaching you how to create stories in order to sell. So we improved that. I'm also teaching you how to improve your educational posts. You will also hear so-called marketing messaging experts telling you that educational posts are the ones that are not converting well. That is not true. The ones that are not converting well are educational posts that are not designed to convert well. So we dive into that. I'm also explaining why overgiving in your content strategy is a big problem, and that's why you're not making sales. I'm also tapping into embodiment, authenticity, and vulnerability. These three words have been so massively overused the last few years. Embodiment, authenticity, vulnerability, and many, especially coaches, are making huge mistakes when it comes to embodiment, authenticity, and vulnerability. Then we also have the specificities of what content to produce when you sell a program, when you sell a product, when you sell a mastermind, when you sell one-on-one, and also what kind of content to use depending on the launch phase that you are. Because hear me out, here. I know people tell you they're not launching, but they are. So everybody's launching. If you are selling, the process of selling is called a launch. You are introducing a product. It's a launch campaign, right? However, we need to make a distinction between launching, live launching, and you having your launch process integrated within your sales system effortlessly. So I'm teaching you what kind of content to have through the three different phases of a launch, because every expert who's a real expert will tell you that every launch has three phases. Then I'm getting into details of the top posts that have produced multiple seven figures in my business. Now, I don't often boost enough about that, but I want to tell you something which is extremely rare, and I'm one of the very few people, I dare to say, on this planet. Sorry. So I was sharing with you what's inside of Content That Sells, and I had to pause because we have a lot of supercars in my neighborhood. So I'm teaching you also something extremely valuable. As I was saying, I'm one of the very few people in the world who was able to scale a company to multiple seven figures with Facebook only, with an organic reach. I have not paid for a single ad. I don't have even one viral video. I have a shadow banned Instagram account. My main stream of income was coming all these years predominantly through Facebook, and then getting people into Facebook groups, getting people into my email list. And I did that through using a few posts. The value posts, which, by the way, I know a lot of people like to tell you the value posts that don't work, and then they brag that their podcast is bringing the most amount of clients. What do you think a value is? It is a podcast. Anyways, so I'm teaching you value post, which is extremely important, how to manage and how to handle the creation of value posts. This is the post that frames you as an authority, but not just value of you telling people 7 steps to get XYZ. That is not a value post. I'm teaching you the money maker. It's called the 2-step ladder post. This is the money maker. This is the post that has generated so much money, so much sales every single day of my life for the last decade. Then we have authority post, how to create an authority post. Belief shifting post is extremely powerful as well. I also give you examples of posts that lead to many sales in my business. So specifically showing you these ones. What to post on different platforms, because not all platforms tolerate the same kind of content. So I'm showing you all these different posts that has worked for me, they have worked for my clients, so you can go look at them, see how they are created, and replicate and create this into your business. So you're not wondering what is working. And by the way, these kind of posts, value posts, 2-step ladder post, authority post, belief shifting post, they will never ever change. They will never ever change, no matter what. These are the few posts that they are psychology based. So no matter what happens, they will always remain the same and they will always have this power. Then we are looking into Instagram and Facebook stories because I also make a lot of money with Facebook stories predominantly. So I'm teaching you exactly how to do that. This is my method and my strategy. I'm also teaching you how to refine your message. I'm taking you behind the scenes of how I create content, what is my process. I'm also showing you how to be omnipresent, how to be all over social media without burning out. 4 or 5 years ago was the moment I became super famous on social media, and it was because I finally created an omnipresence on social media. I was literally everywhere. I will get people messaging me, telling me, Ayo, I'm seeing you here, 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 and here, and here. I cannot get enough of you. I want to work with you. You're top of mind. You're literally, I close my eyes and I see you before I fall asleep. It was intentional. It didn't happen just like that. Then I'm sharing with you the central message of your brand. So everybody's talking about branding. Well, how can we create a really powerful brand boosted by a powerful central message? Then I'm sharing with you marketing done with integrity. By the way, this masterclass is the same one that I've been teaching to huge companies like Microsoft, Apple, and so on and so on and so on. So this training is pretty similar to what I taught these companies. I was teaching them how to do mindful marketing. In fact, this is something that I came up with, how to create marketing that you care about people. And I hear a lot of people saying, oh my gosh, marketing is so icky. I hate marketing. It's because you don't create marketing with integrity. And then I am also giving you additional access here to so many bonuses of templates, of PDFs, of files, emails, email subject lines. Like, you will find so much here to support you because it is extremely important to create content that sells. Because here's the thing, you can have the most amazing offer. You can have the most dialed in funnel. In fact, in Seven Figures Funnel, another program that I have, which is another bestseller, I'm teaching you how to create funnels that sell, but it's really important for you to nail your content, because if you don't know how to do that, no matter what kind of funnel you create, it will flop. And today I actually had a VIP day with a client. We were going through her funnels and we were noticing that some of the funnels are not performing so great. Now, mind you, I've created these funnels. I've created these steps. I told her exactly how to build these funnels, but we noticed that they're not performing so well. And when I went back to recheck these funnels once again, and what's the issue? The main problem was the text, the content, the copy on the sales page, on the ads. When we changed that, we started seeing an improvement. And that's why exactly we were discussing this today, because she's now working on new funnels. And I told her, remember, it is really important to have content that is designed to sell. So if I'm in your shoes, I will not waste this time. The price of this offer is absolutely amazing. As you can see, it has so much value. I give this offer to people who cannot work with me one-on-one, because I do audits, I do content audits, I help clients to write their copy. My team also helps that. And if people cannot jump into my one-on-ones, for example, I often direct them to this. And you will find this interesting, but I also have clients who are multiple seven, eight-figure earners, and they will buy this program and they will give it to their team, their content team, and their content creator to watch this and follow it step by step. And the results that they're getting is absolutely amazing. They are mind blown how fast these things work. In fact, I have so many clients who literally say, I went and I tested one thing only, and I get these crazy results. So now is the time to go and get it. Fixing your content is priority number one because this will help you to build a solid audience that buys. So this is a number one income generating activity. I'm so excited to see you inside of this amazing program.